the heck are these cables such a mess for? Oh my god. My desk is kind of a mess. I should really do some cable management. I'm sorry, this is way too early. But I'm casting. We'll get through it. Together. I'm also making coffee right now. So, waiting on that. Let me make sure this is posted somewhere. Go post this somewhere. Holy crap. Hold on, I'm still waking up. Just go throw this in some places. I think that's good. Okay. I need to make my coffee. I'll be right back. But I'm in the lobby. Everything's fine. Still raining. It's been raining for like 24 hours. Yeah.
Team banned.
Just Swiffer again. Alright, I'm doing pour over, so it takes a little bit to drain into the thing, but I'll go pour that like in the middle of this. I wish I had coffee for this draft. I might have weird pauses in the middle of the stream, and that's because I'm drinking coffee, but it does have to cool down first. We're doing the fuck is this logo? Jesus Christ. Fucking degenerates on this team.
10 seconds remaining.
But yeah, I'm doing pour over. It is a very medium. I don't know if you can say very medium. It's kind of antithesis. It's a very medium blend of bean. Tastes really good. Although I ran out of it, I think. But I have some more beans, so nothing to worry. I might have to make more coffee, and I might percolate that.
10 seconds remaining.
So we'll see what happens.
Dire team banned.
My percolator makes so much more coffee. Let's see here. What? Thought it was Plupo. Ah, shit.
10 seconds remaining.
I must have gotten this wrong.
5 seconds
Oh well.
remaining.
First mistake of the day. No need to dwell on it. Thank you, Staples.
Dire team ban.
Edit. I could have sworn I said. I must have like completely messed this up. I can't edit my tweet either. Anyway, correction. TShear versus John.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Thank you,
Dire team
Staples.
ban.
You're a real one. Anyway, they pick a Mars into Spectre, which is kind of like, it's pretty good. I mean, the only thing, Spectre can get out, of course, using the ultimate, but you probably don't want to do that in most instances, unless you're like ganking a Spectre, which might just be the best way to deal with the hero, honestly. Mostly what Spectre wants to do is like split push the dead lane, or be farming the jungle on the opposite side of the map of where the team is playing. Snapfire can kind of give you an ability to do that. And I think Pretty Good's going to go for some more team fight heavy stuff later on in this draft too. Not surprised that Opie is banning out Slardar Centaur. Just getting rid of these strong offlaners that can work really well with Snapfire. Once you pick up the eggs on Snapfire. Also, the laning presence of like Snapfire Slardar, Snapfire Centaur is incredibly strong. Could still do something like a Pit Lord, but I don't think Pit Lord and Spectre synergize that well, because you can only have one person pushing on the opposite side of the map as the team, and Pit Lord loves doing that as well, and you kind of get this, you know, two opposite sides of the map just not really working out very well for both of your heroes. Pit Lord's not necessarily greedy or takes a lot of gold, but it can still hurt your start to the game, or not even start, hurt your mid game quite a bit when you're splitting the map like that with Spectre. Pit Lord. Is that done draining? I need to go pour more.
Dire team pick.
Yep. Alright, I will be right back. That's just very strong laning to Lich and Spectre.
Radiant team pick.
Juggernaut.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Night Stalker.
Dire team ban.
Admiral Concar.
Radiant team ban.
Still here. I promise I'm still here. I'm just making coffee. It's a process.
seconds remaining.
Whoa.
Dire team banned.
Whoa. This is some good coffee, boys. And girls. Ooh. Okay. Kunkka pick into a Spectre gives them a little bit more ability to actually gank the hero than just picking up a Mars, which I like. Like I said earlier, best way Spectre can get outside of a Mars ult. Holy crap. I had a ton of followers a couple days ago. Why are these people following me? I should put a follower count on stream. I think that drives people. I don't want to like clutter the screen though. Because then when people watch the VODs, which I need to upload to YouTube, god damn it. I'm really late on that. I don't want to clutter the stream with that kind of stuff. Maybe I should put like a follower count below. Can you do that? Potentially? I'd have to look it up. Maybe I could do it myself too. Witch Doctor picked up as well. Most likely going to be paired with a Juggernaut unless they're going to run this Lena Mars. We'll see what they want to do. I think you could do either support in the lane. Mars, Witch Doctor, or Lena Mars. And on the other side of things, Pretty Good also has some incredibly strong lanes. Going into a Juggernaut, it's not great running Night Stalker Snapfire. But it's pretty good. You have to deal... I didn't even realize I made a pun there. You have to deal with the spin, but I don't think it's something like you really need to worry about. That is the worst Lena set ever. It's not really something you need to worry about too much. Is this a Leshrac with no items, or is this... Okay, no, he hasn't picked yet. Mid Leshrac gives them some push. So I think they're just really setting themselves up for like this heavy mid-game lineup. Spectre probably goes Battle Fury into... Oh god, what is the build? Probably Battle Fury into Manta, and then just joins the team. They don't have too much damage for a Juggernaut, honestly, but I don't think you need to worry about it too much when you have a Leshrac. Like, outside of spin, it's so hard to deal with that hero. The biggest scare you have is just playing into Kunkka as a Leshrac. But it's a hero. See, I just mentioned people following, and then people follow me. It's great. I don't market myself enough, but that's not really what I'm here to do. So, yeah, anyway, Leshrac is a natural Yule's buyer into a Kunkka. So, it should work out. Like, I like the pick a decent amount. I think it's kind of rough to play in the Leshrac in lane. They're both kind of like... Oh, Leshrac and Kunkka. They're both kind of like heavy damage spamming heroes. Oh. Yeah. No, I actually kind of messed up the coffee this morning. I think I let it sit for a bit too much. I made enough grounds. I should really percolate it. I haven't tried percolating it with these beans yet. I forgot to do this. Percolated coffee is incredible, by the way, if you make coffee at home. Buy yourself either an electric percolator. I have a stovetop percolator. It is a little bit less efficient, and there's no benefit to it at all. So buy yourself an electric percolator because it's 20 times better. It tastes amazing. It's the best kind of coffee, I think. Pour over is okay. In fact, percolated might even be easier to make, but pour over is still nice, just because I have a very nice tea kettle now. that I should also be making tea with, but I'm not a big tea drinker. Should go buy some tea. Like a Whole Foods right there. They probably have some good tea. Anyway, Spaghetti Jesus opening up with the Windlace. Not something you normally see on offlaners. Sometimes going for right click first, but Night Stalker has a base damage of 63, which is ridiculous. So maybe you don't even need something like that. Bottom lane, John Donne is going to miss an LSA to start. Get a couple right clicks into TShear, but nothing you're really too worried about because this is the build nowadays. Probably going to get nerfed, most likely by raising the cost of Ring of Regen to 250, I could bet. I would bet it goes up to 250, and maybe you decrease the cost of Windlace. I don't know, because doing that you increase the cost of Tranquils by quite a bit, which sucks for supports. But it's I don't know if it's like a necessary evil. The problem is Ring of Regen builds into a lot of other items that can kind of be useful on some cores. Like if you want to build a Hood of Defiance, you probably don't on Spectre, but still. I like going Ring of Regen on offlaners, honestly. I'm kind of surprised more offlaners don't do that, because you do build into like pipe on offlaners, so you're going to be using some of these, and especially if you buy Tranquils on the offlaner, which some you do. It's not the best going Tranquils on offlaners, but still you have options there for items to build into. Force Staff, even if you're like playing Clockwork offlane and going to pipe later, you can get 2 of them and be just fine, because you look at the regen on the Spectre 7.0, and that's without using a Tango yet. It's going to go for a pull. Mid lane, kind of talked about the matchup. These are both spam heavy heroes if Mad Dog decides to go for early levels in Lightning Storm. It's about the only way you actually can harass Kunkka efficiently. Right clicks aren't very great on Leshrac until he gets a couple of levels, and even then you can't deal with the 70 damage that Kunkka has right now, no matter what. Yeah, just a constant burst of damage coming out there. And Spamito kind of just showing why Kunkka's strong in this matchup, though. And it might hurt them the most, because I think you draft this Leshrac just to give you early presence for the Spectre to play around. I am missing First Blood. Okay, then. This is a pretty easy First Blood, too, because they probably just hit a spear after the slow from God's Rebuke, and then LSA follow-up. But it does kind of hurt their start slightly, but I think as long as Leshrac is just taking towers with the team, you can definitely do this like 4-man group Spectre farm across the map, which they really want to do. Top lane, nothing really happening too much. This is a level 1 Maledict, so not too much damage going into the Spectre, into the Night Stalker. I still have not woken up yet, but Juggernaut is farming so efficiently right now. Look at this CS. Doubling and then some up the Spectre, and Spectre is just dead right now. The right clicks are more than enough. God's Rebuke to follow. Way too far out. The wave is just almost underneath the Dire tier 1 here in this offlane, and ooh, Ice almost leaves his boy hanging there. Fortunately, click the high five button. But yeah, just the supports of, or not the supports, the cores of Opie really declaring an early victory here. Not necessarily a game win, just an early victory with the CS they're getting. The numbers they're putting up are just insane. 21 up on off right now. Is my alarm going off? No. Okay. Hold on one sec.
Double damage. Radiant structures are fortified.
Oops. Hold on, I gotta pay off my... I don't even use that credit card except for like 2 things. Subscriptions, and I always forget to pay it. Anyway, as I do this on the side, it's really just up to, I think Leshrac can still have a good game despite like an early, you know, just struggling to keep up. Obviously, still not exactly like that bad right now. Probably overhyping that slightly. We do lose the Snapfire top lane. Just a level 2 spin. Nobody ever really expects it. And yeah, see, there's like nothing on this. Spaghetti Jesus, I haven't casted him in a while actually. I'm really sorry. I'm like half focused on this. I like have a morning routine where I usually check a bunch of stuff that's happening, and I have not been able to do that this morning, and it throws me off, but it's fine. I should have just gotten up earlier. It's totally my fault, but it happens when you wake up like 5 times in the middle of the night because I drink way too much coffee. Most likely. Anyway, early 3-0 lead for Opie. Not looking great so far for TShear team. Or pretty good, I should say. Stun back into Virgo. We hit the spear as well, but they did not connect on the LSA, and I don't know if they have enough rank look here. In fact, they can turn this back onto Ice Boogie, and now John Tot might just be the next target. Does connect on that stun. Another Spectral Dagger coming up very soon. Virgo has the chains, the dagger to follow up. John Dot without any mana for the stun. There's no real save here. 2 more right clicks gets it, and TShear finds both of them. And roaring back in the bot lane. Very excited to see this. I think oh, well, this is the other lane that you kind of need to worry about too. And again, often Fight Shade, like this is a tough lane to play into just because this spin is kind of just guaranteeing damage on top of the Maledict. Same thing, Mars. Okay, I guarantee you I will not miss another kill. I promise. I promise. I'm getting there. This is a very big stack they've set up here too. And I think Jug just takes this though. Who's actually stacking this? Jug farming this should be really strong. He's got 3 levels in this spin. Also working on a Battle Fury into MKB, it looks like. And I'm kind of curious to see Epi's just going to die mid. Doesn't even really need too much there. Kunkka just throwing out the combo, and now the chains mid from Virgo after the rotation does get them a return kill. At the very least, definitely worth it there for Epi, I think. Obviously, you don't get the XP, but you're still pretty happy that you can get something outside of that. Spaghetti, she's just getting stunned up top, but he's way too quickly running underneath the tier 1. I don't think it's going to matter, though. Early Omni Slash from off. He just barely gets the cast range. And even though he's got... well, he actually doesn't have the phase boots yet. On Night Stalker, I think he lives there with the phase boots just because he can outrun the cast range of the Juggernaut. Unfortunate for him. We do get a bit of a rotation bottom. It's an Invis rune up for Mad Dog. I think they might have seen this, though. Backing all the way up underneath the tier 1 is Ice Boogie. I think Mad Dog just... I don't even know if you look for a kill here. I think it's worth like sticking around to take the tower, but they might not even need that, is what he's thinking. Ice Boogie, enough to push this back. They aren't going to take the tower quite yet. You can look at the other side of the map too. In fact, early on, pretty good sticking a lot of these towers. There is a boat flying in mid. He's going to stun up the Night Stalker. The rotation from Fight Shade. Maledict as well onto the Leshrac, but is there any damage? Right clicks. He's actually out healing this on the Kunkka, the boat, keeping him alive. Rum buff. You gotta love it. Spamito somehow surviving right there. He had like 20 health or something ridiculous. Nice rotation there from Fight Shade as well. All he needs is a little bit of a coconut. does all the work necessary. Ice Can, Boogie, incredibly far up bottom lane, and now with the rotation from Spaghetti Jesus, they're going to get the silence on too. They don't have a dagger though, so they can't chase this too far. Armor back up from Lich onto Spaghetti Jesus if they want to continue to chase this down. John Dot maybe looking for another stun, but does not get it off. The dagger, killing spree, going to TShear. This man ain't playing Spectre. He's basically playing PA with the amount of dagger kills he's picking up. And Leshrac, Spectre's still quite far behind though. You see the net worth on Kunkka, especially without that kill mid lane there. That is huge that he survives. Still on top of the Spectre, and of course still on top of the Leshrac. And again, I'm kind of just surprised they haven't rotated more to try and take this tower. They're sitting around like they want to take a fight here. They have the Mars Arena up, and Spectre also has Haunt. Again, the main way you can get outside of this arena is Haunt. Maybe Ice Boogie gonna look for the ultimate here if he wants to use it. Could just get the spear into no setup, but the supports aren't quite here. I think TShear can just run away at this point. Fight Shade and the Lina weren't quite here yet, and now he doesn't have the mana though. Will use the ultimate from Ice Can Boogie. Did not have the mana for the Haunt, so no escape necessary. And an unfortunate death there, just kind of getting ditched slightly as TShear. I need to drink more water. My throat's gonna go raw by the end of today. Speaking of which, I don't know. Might be casting some round 2 games. This is a double elimination tournament. I believe this is lower bracket, but I'd have to check again. Top lane, we are just losing the Lich. Don't even need any abilities there from off. Literally just Fight Shade doing most of the work, and that's why you gotta love Witch Doctor. But an early rotation from Mad Dog, maybe looking for a stun to spin out early from off to make sure he doesn't get stunned up or silenced. Big rotation top. They don't want to give up this tower for free. They will look at... No, they actually go with the Leshrac instead, and he doesn't have a Yule's quite yet. Missing the stun, so he doesn't make the combo happen. Mad Dog just going to get annihilated. Silence back up onto the Witch Doctor. Lich Ult flying out as well. Maybe they can get one kill onto the Witch Doctor. Getting very low is off. Does have the healing ward back up, and now Kunkka running in at the Lich. Able to pop an Omni Slash, and yeah, with no real help again. They're kind of just playing this kind of solo. What did he just ult? Did he get a kill with that? I'm not sure what John Dot just Laguna bladed there, but it is a 2-for-1. Opie coming out on top slightly right there, and they're up 4K early on in this game. It's definitely going to be a hard one to bounce back from. Pretty good. You are banking on this like very mid-game oriented lineup, and the fact that they're delaying this Yules from Leshrac really hurts him. He now has it up, but that kill right before he gets it is probably the biggest one. Something that probably could have been avoided. It's just further pushing him back, and now of course he becomes a lot harder of a target. But we'll see what ends up happening here. Mars maybe thinking about using the ult mid, but staving it off for now. Well, instead just go from the jungle. It's really hard to push Spectre outside of the triangle right now. TShear just farming up the Ancient Camp, so with that Battle Fury. And Mad Dog and Spaghetti Jesus bottom still have not taken this tower somehow. They got it so low to 200 health, but they're still not taking it. In fact, mid Virgo, a little bit close to Ice Can Boogie. But just, you got to keep the armor up. He's doing his job. He's making sure they don't take this tower for free. And again, just the early deficit by 4K. In terms of who takes this late, probably pretty good. I think the Spectre is good enough late. They've kind of missed this early timing where they give Opie a window. In fact, I am completely missing that fight, by the way. Just the 2-man boat from Spamito. Perfectly placed. And now they can look at TShear. They have the X, but do they have any follow-up stun? No, they do not. John Dot was the only one, and now he's just going to get ran down by Spaghetti Jesus if he wants to go for this. Spectre all back in. They want to try and look for the Lina. But he's not actually committing for this. TShear gonna back off. You do have a Maledict on top of you, Spaghetti Jesus, so you gotta be slightly careful here. But we'll look at the Kunkka. He is incredibly tanky. And in fact, with the rotation back in, Ice Can Boogie is just gonna get speared down. Don't even need the stun from it. It's just the damage.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And it will eventually kill the Kunkka, though. So the dive, worth it? Question mark? I think so. The biggest thing is still off is just farming up a storm here. He does not even have a Battle Fury. This is literally just like the drums, no Mask of Madness, drums into BKB. Like, this is such a great start for Juggernaut. He doesn't need like this farming item to fill a gap. It's just all damage. Of course, this BKB being like this essentially damage item in quotations allows you to do damage while you pop that BKB. A lot of magic damage as well. I mean, you have to deal with the Leshrac. Obviously, Diabolic Edict still hits you, but everything else, you're fine. There's a lot of stuns, silences to deal with from the Night Stalker, and BKB is the only way to get around that. I was looking at the wrong person's items. What am I? Okay, I have not woken up yet. We're getting there, though, I promise. This is actually Kunkka's items that I was looking at while talking about Jug's items. Mad Dog is just going to die top off with the rotation up, and they find more. It's a three-man death top for pretty good, and a double kill at that for off.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I'll get there. We're waking up. By game 2, it'll be top tier cast, I promise. Epi's still working on a mech too. This is a really rough start for pretty good. Down by 7k, 16 minutes in. And we're looking at kind of the middle of a stomp. A very hard one for pretty good to fight back into. Spectre like needs a lot of space to farm with this Blade Mail, and I think because they kind of missed their window. To me, they picked this Leshrac to make space for the Spectre by pushing down some towers, getting map control, and they've kind of, you know, you got some of that advantage by taking out the mid-tier one incredibly early. But now they're running into a wall, it feels like, of Opie. Early CS numbers for them were incredibly high. And now it's just starting to ball out of control. Off taking over the game. Getting very close to an MKB, and then of course your favorite item of the month for Juggernaut, Agdams. Going to be picked up incredibly soon here. This feels like an incredibly hard hero to kill too. Like, I thought he was gonna go BKB, of course. I don't know why I thought that, because Juggernaut really never goes BKB, but still pretty tanky though. It's a 22 armor plus a lot of health at this point in the game. And we'll see what they want to do to play around this. I thought the play was maybe they try and take top. Spaghetti Jesus, the cookie away from Epi. Ice Can Boogie was looking for the spear, but didn't throw it out in time. And now bot lane, there's a rotation, this time from Mad Dog. Off not really spending too much, though. It's basically just bothering them. And Off is literally playing how you want Spectre to be playing. If you're pretty good. Like, just making so much space. In fact, they're still getting kills in this top lane. Spaghetti Jesus dying to the Maledict. With the blink up now on Ice Can Boogie, this isn't a really easy fight for them to take. They still have the ult on the Mars as well. Maybe jumping in as Mad Dog, looking for the Yules. Pops it on one to bring down the Witch Doctor, but still they at least get one on top of the Mars. He gets his ult off in the meantime. Mad Dog getting very low, but not going to die for this. And it will be a 2 for 2 technically right now. That Night Stalker kill was a lot earlier. Cookie back stunning into the Kunkka there. As John Dot He's not going to get focused down yet, but they will focus the Kunkka instead, and a killing spree up now for Epi as he gets the kill on the Kunkka. John Dot's going to be the final survivor. Brought off the island, Spaghetti Jesus cleaning him up. Tried to take the 4-man fight there, but it's hard to do when you're playing into a Spectre that's starting to work on some of these items now. Didn't really add too much, but it was kind of just the early... It's hard to take towers like that, especially TShear. They're just going to get Omni Slash bottom, and TShear takes a brunt of the damage. He does not have a spin, so he is going to die here, I believe. Yeah, no way he gets out of this. Finally, somebody rotates down to help, but you lose your Spectre, and look at that net worth advantage right now. Insane for this early on in the game. Ice Can Boogie does see Night Stalker, but very smartly doesn't run up the hill. They could have a sentry up here. I like that. Maybe just waits until he runs back down. Plus, he doesn't have Arena. If you can find like Leshrac or something too, you can maybe make something happen. They still don't see him quite yet. Or do they have a sentry right there? Yes, they do. Saw him come up the hill. We'll make sure they find some wards there. Won't see the other sentry, unfortunately. But still, I think this probably gets dewarded. But we'll see what happens. It gives them a better fight now, if they want to push this tier 2 in the top lane. I think you need Juggernaut up here, but without Omni Slash, doesn't really add too much. He's getting closer to that Agnums, and he's trying to go full efficiency here, going for the Blade of Alacrity first. Fight Shade, making sure his ward stays safe. They want to keep this vision up for taking this tower. Lichkin might just be enough to push them back. And again, without the Juggernaut, they really don't have too much to push this. Kind of saw this draft fall apart. I guess that's the biggest issue with picking this Kunkka as well, is they needed a mid laner that can actually push towers instead of like just a tanky mid laner. That last fight, you saw how they can kind of fall flat when they're trying to push. And in terms of that, like, Pretty Good has a very well-rounded draft because they got the Leshrac. I think you maybe could have argued for like a Death Prophet or something too if you're OP and you just wanted to push like this. It makes it very difficult for them to group up and take these fights. Spectre and TShear will lose his courier there. We get the Night Stalker all being popped. There is a Mars Spear missing after the ult goes out. They lose 2 immediately. Doing so much work is Spaghetti Jesus, and still Juggernaut not here. They're gonna find Spamito. No, he pops the BKB. Nothing to pierce it. I mean, they have nothing for the spin TP either. That was an incredibly long TP. He kind of risks it there, going to the outpost instead. And still an impressive fight from Pretty Good. Most of that net worth, again, is on Juggernaut. And when you're down by 7k, you don't really care if the person that's putting them up by 7k isn't even showing up to these fights. And Off feels like he needs to make something happen now. Not going to find the Jugger quite yet. Will pop the spin. He's just running at the hero's top lane. But finally, they're forcing him to rotate to this. Spaghetti Jesus sees that he's already used the spin, so he needs to be a little bit careful here. On Off. I'll see if he wants to just back off. I think that might be the call. Back. I'm like accidentally making puns and I hate it. I hate it. I think this is 8-second BKB on Spamito. Yeah. And now, I mean, you've done your work finally. You got Off to come top lane. He hasn't finished his eggs yet. I thought that's the reason why he was making this move. But Spamito is like classic cartoon villain right now. He's like, you know, if you want a job done, you got to do it yourself. He's going to go take this top tier 2 and show up to do it. Team couldn't do it alone. But he's got some farm picked up. I think it hurts them quite a bit, though. They probably got to end this game within the next 10 minutes here, with the way it's starting to look. Very good fights taken from pretty good. Not just pretty good. Should be able to take Roche, though. I don't know if there's any counterplay for this unless they scan. And Spectral up in 20 seconds. Do they have 20 seconds? Probably not. But they need to scan this out very soon, and they have no idea this is going on. I mean, they might suspect it. But still, it's just going to be a bit too late. Spectral is up, but I don't think we're going to see it here. Oh, God. Radiance build, really, TShear? I don't think this is the build anymore, especially at like 25 minutes. If you can get it early, it's great, but they might be able to kill off the Mars yet again. In fact, even find the supports now. It's already 3 gone. The egg is annihilated. And as soon as this Radiance comes out, they can take the fight. Again, Epi is just doing so much work with the Mortimer's Kisses. They will back off throughout the Lich Ult. Fight Shade's probably going to take the most damage of that, but still be able to heal it off. They lose the Leshrac as well. Mars ult pop just to take that, but TShear just gets right inside of it. Does not give a fuck about being caught inside of that prison. I don't know. Maybe the Radiance works. It'll do something. It's not like it's useless, I guess. Spamino just pops BKB, backs up. The bot lane doesn't get the run buff, but it really doesn't matter. He used the BKB instead.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, just a Mortimer's Kisses from Epi. That is the eggs. Cookie away. Coconut flying as well. Multiple different foods flying through the air in this game. We got a food fight on our hands in this game. Basically what's happening. We do have the Marzal back up again, but I'm not sure what the call is. They don't have the Aegis anymore. They've already used it. And Agnem's up on off. Going for a BKB after. Does pop it. Sorry, I completely missed that on the camera. As Epi taking the brunt of that damage, it looks like. X up on TShear. Doesn't really care too much, though. Again, he's pretty tanky at this point. Not even that tanky, I guess. The Radiance doesn't really give you too much. The mischance is nice, but what is this? MKB already up on Juggernaut, so I don't think he cares too much. Actually, no vision there quite yet. So they will take it. They don't want to fight, which I think is the right call from pretty good. If you can just elongate the amount of time it takes to take the tower, you're happy. You just want this game, like I said, to go about 35 minutes, and I think by that point Spectre has a couple more items. I think that's the biggest problem with the Radiance, is just you're slowing down your Manta. Probably could have had the Manta by like 20 minutes if you don't go for this Radiance. It really just delays that second item, and now you're looking where he's having to farm to because he lost the tier 2. It's kind of dangerous. He maybe could do this play that Mad Dog is doing instead. Put the Spectre up there instead. But Mad Dog being the strongest pusher, blinking up. Man, Ice Can Boogie maybe looking for the ultimate. Spaghetti just keeping him locked in instead. Is maybe able to fly out of this, but I mean, again, this is such a good Swift Slash, but still they want to try and fight this. They've come back on the Leshrac, but he's just going to get speared up and knocked down. This fight going incredibly well for Opie. Canceling out the ult from Virgo as well. The Lich ult doing a decent amount, but still it's a double kill for TShear. But now look at the damage back in. Ice Can Boogie blinking as well. They bring down Epi. Ultra kill for off. Can they find TShear? He doesn't have the Omni Slash anymore. TShear just has to cower on a cliff. Still looking for Ice Can Boogie. He needs to keep this Radiance Burn on. The spear away, pushing him back, and now off. Gonna look for the finish with the spin. They need a couple more right clicks though. Do they have it? Yes, they do. Unstoppable streak for off, and only 2 buybacks up for pretty good. And again, they're not the best pushing lineup either, losing both supports there, but still incredible fight win for Opie. Up by 13k, they get off to show up, and it was just one after the other. The fight kind of starts, you lose a lot of heroes early on in that for pretty good, and they still tried to take it, popping the Spectre ult. You can focus. I mean, the Mars ult was really nice from Ice Camp Boogie just because they can isolate off the Leshrac. And now they might try and go for more. Ooh. I respect that Epi. He was not expecting that. He's probably going to spin anyway. I was expecting a Leshrac stun, but instead it's the cookie. But a 15k gold lead now for Opie. Probably not closing that gap anytime soon unless they get like a full 5-man wipe or something. We're pretty good. Yeah, definitely I still need to wake up yet. I'm like 1 second behind on these fights. Following everything. My brain is still lagging. This is usually like... I usually work in the mornings. Like do a majority of my programming in the mornings. Just because I don't have to talk to people when I program. And the brain lag doesn't matter. It in fact allows me to focus a little bit more. My brain isn't moving at 1 billion miles an hour. What if we use 100% of the brain? I didn't miss anything, right? No. Okay, cool. I need more coffee. It's got it in my thermos. By the way, if you need a thermos that's decently cheap, Contigo. They don't sponsor my stream, but maybe they should. Contigo makes some amazing coffee thermoses. Back when I was in college, you can basically turn a lock on these things and throw them in your backpack and they won't leak. Contigo, sponsor me, please. I will shill for Contigo. I love Contigo. Their water bottles are kind of meh. I don't like their water bottles as much, but their coffee products are incredible. That is another Swift Slash back onto Mad Dog, who does pop the BKB back now into the spin. Fight Shade doesn't really have a space in this fight. Marzout coming out in the middle of it. They've lost the 2 supports yet again, but they won the fight, having these 2 heroes gone in the last fight. Omni Slash, I believe, was used there. No, he's actually going to use it now. This time all into TShear, but the damage is way too much for TShear into the Swift Slash. My god, looking like a Dragon Ball Z fight right there. Off one after the other. And now just making a bit of space is Ice Camp Boogie, but I don't think you wanted to go into the tower there. Or into the fountain there, sorry. That's a little bit too far. And now they can focus back into the, or at least the tower there. I think Mad Dog might be able to get the kill on the Juggernaut. That's just completely alone, and Spamito has to watch it happen. He doesn't have the boat up quite yet, doesn't have BKB either, and this regen rune is not going to help you. I mean, you took the fight win? They won the fight, question mark? I mean, they took another set of racks, but they lose so much. I guess the biggest benefit of this is Spectre basically got nothing out of that fight. Dying decently early on. They did kill the 2 supports before the Spectre died, but I mean, obviously the 2 biggest kills are Juggernaut, Kunkka, and the fact that Spectre doesn't really benefit from it is huge, and you don't really care about giving those kills to Leshrac either, just because you have so many ways to deal with the Lesh right now. And Roshan up in about 2 minutes. They get close to that respawn time, but because it's a longer respawn time, pretty good. Has to delay their Roshan. It's a very quaint morning, by the way. Like I said earlier, it's been raining for like the last 24 hours. This is why I should move to Seattle or something so I can get this like rain constantly, but I do like the sun every now and then. I just need like some bird noises, and then I would have a very peaceful morning. Some good Dota casts plus a peaceful morning is always great. Alright, now I'm woke up. I just had to stretch a little bit there. It's kind of weird casting at 9 a.m. in the morning when I'm used to casting at like 9 p.m. at night. It's a 12-hour difference. My body isn't ready. Also, can we seriously, Valve? Can we get rid of this crap? Like, this looks so bad. If anything needs to change about the cosmetics, it's like the ability to just like turn your character blue is the very strangest development, I think. You think it would have happened after Avatar? When did that movie come out? I think that was like 2008, so it wouldn't have been when Dota 2 was out, but
All in service to imbalance.
it's a good movie to go back and watch every now and then. Off, gonna pop the Swift Slash, has an Omni Slash if he wants to use it, but not gonna go for it. It would be kind of dangerous there with 5 heroes here, and again, they have nothing to cancel this spin TP or spin walk away, of course. In fact, just gonna finish off his item list with a BKB. That's the right call. Might just be Epi instead. What is this? Yeah, that's necessary. Saving for the buyback though, which I think is also a good call. But the arena back up again. They're still waiting for Spectre to get a couple of items. Manta is up now on TShear, but I think it's like that Scotty is going to be the biggest jump if they can get it. Mad Dog playing this one smartly. They are going to see the couriers inside the Roche pit, and now Mad Dog a bit caught out right now. The rest of the team is already over here, has to pop. The BKB can't use the, well, he does use the heals on top of himself to not die instantly, but I still think he's caught out after this. Do they have an Omni Slash? No, they do not. Maybe he can get away with this one, and now they've lost the Witch Doctor. TShear in the middle of this does eventually use the Omni Slash, and Spectre's gonna die yet again. Spaghetti Jesus as well. It's a 3-for-1. Opie again coming out on top. At least you don't lose the Spectre though. This, or not the Spectre, you don't lose the Leshrac, which you would have thought would die at the beginning, but Epi gets a double kill. What? FB, I have no idea how you pulled that off. Like 1v3ing right there to get some kills, but now you gotta use the buybacks. Still not going into Roche quite yet. Has respawned, but it would just be off taking this alone. Ice Can Boogie, sorry. Doesn't have the Mars Arena for a little bit, but I don't really think there's too much they can do to contest this. They won't lose the Megas right now. But of course, maybe go to Roche and try. They're not going to get time to force buybacks. Spectre up in 20 seconds. This is a level 20 Spectre, so still relatively low level. Don't really got to worry about that respawn time too much. And now comes the decision Opie has to make. Where are you going to push and try and take Megas right now? Maybe force a buyback from the Snapfire. Not really too worth it. Maybe find a kill bottom on a Virgo or something, but they need vision this time. You saw last fight, they didn't have vision for the kill onto, at least I guess you have the Nullifier. So that does help you a bit. Oh no, he can't get the Swift Slash off, and now, yeah, with this Sentry. I mean, Nullifier can help you quite a bit. In fact, I wish Nullifier was like cheaper and just didn't do the whole slowing aspect so that you could silence items for a bit easier. Just so like Clockwork could buy Nullifier, but I guess it's still pretty balanced because like Orchid, very similar item, is basically the same cost. Doesn't build up as easily though. The biggest problem with Nullifier, I think, is just the build up requires Sacred Relic. Yeah, it's 4725. How much is Orchid? Yeah, it's actually way more expensive. Yeah, okay. I think it should be cheaper. Clockwork needs to be able to buy Nullifier. That's the dream right there. Still Aegis up on off though. So we'll see if they want to push like right away. I mean, they have the Aegis advantage. I think they could get away with it. Maybe wait for some of these tier 4 items. Especially with Illusionist Cape, you're pretty happy picking that up. And in fact, he is just hoarding 3 different neutral items right now. I don't know which Kunkka takes, honestly. What is that? Spell Prism on Kunkka, and there is Timeless Relic on John Dot. Minotaur Horn on the Mars. They will go up into the tier 3s. Look for the Megas. How do you start this fight? Silence already used from Spaghetti Cheese, but how do you stop this? TShear, I mean, with this Radiance, you can kind of do some work, but again, the MKB is up on off. He doesn't really care about the mischance too much. Maybe make some space on the backside, does TShear, looking for some supports, but look at Juggernaut just wailing away on the racks. Now Ice Can Boogie hits the Mars ult, this time onto Mad Dog, but do they have the damage for him again? The support's getting annihilated by the Juggernaut, getting super low, as well as Mad Dog. The right click's coming through. Can they finish him off? He's just sprinting away right now. Spectre on the backside, TShear trying to get some kills. I think that was actually the Night Stalker. I'm not sure where TShear is. Had to go all the way back to the base. They just give up the racks completely to the Juggernaut. They could not stop him. And now the X back into Epi. The magic damage going to be enough. They will stun up the Mars. Ice Can Boogie might just fall right here, but he eats the cheese to get back to full health. John Dot popping the Yules on himself as well. I believe that was defensive, but now if they can find the Mars, and as well, Spamito outside the base. They clean up Opie yet again, but the price you had to pay for it was the Megas.
I'll take that as tribute.
And like I said, sorry, I am like 1 second behind still. I was lying when I was awake. When I said I was awake. I feel like I'm so far behind in these fights. I'm not keeping up. But still 33-36, they're down by 20k. I mean, the kill score is even. That's something. Mad Dog, I don't think you can get this kill. Either one of you, honestly. We'll just pop the BKB. I mean, if he had a basher there. Yeah, Spectre doesn't buy MKB. I honestly would like to see him go for Abyssal. I don't know where he actually, but yeah, I guess, yeah. I think he needs an Abyssal. Especially with the Nullifier too, you just finished that off. You can get that kill so easily onto Leshrac. I think you can pop Abyssal while in Swiss Flash as well. It's just like these two very mobile items that you can get, the eggs and the Abyssal. That was just perfect timing. How do you defend against the Megas? I mean, I'm not surprised Pretty Good hasn't called GG yet. Like, they win a fight there, but I'm not sure. I thought their window was 35 minutes, but I really think the Radiance kind of delayed them slightly. And moving on into like the later parts of this game, they're starting to struggle. And luckily they have a Leshrac who can clear these mega creeps incredibly easily.
Oh, that's no good.
But still, I mean, an 18,000 net worth lead is really hard to overcome, especially when you're farming mega creeps the whole time too. This is like a 60-minute game now, and you just have to try and end it with tier 5 items if you're pretty good. And, I mean, they can kind of take this however they want, I think, on Opie. They don't have the Aegis anymore, but they do have a Butterfly this time on off. Butterfly is kind of the item that we haven't seen too much of this patch just because of how popular MKB is. Nobody really buys Butterfly anymore. We'll look for the Abyssal afterwards instead, but I just... Now you got to think about where do you slot it. I think you keep the Nullifier, just because it is incredibly useful. Got a while before Roshan respawns. And Opie, you know, they're taking just the very passive route right now. Just saying, let's just take our time, see if we can get a pick off before we end the game. We don't just want to, like, run into a wall right now or bash our heads into a wall trying to finish this game. They've lost the last 2 fights. But it's mostly because, like, they've had to push at the exact same time. You saw in that last fight, Juggernaut just focusing down the racks instead of, like, fighting. While TShear and Night Stalker can kind of like clear up the back lines, kill off the supports, and then work out from there. They're kind of just like forcing them back into their base though. His illusion is K-pop on Spectre. Both cores actually benefiting from that hugely. But yeah, we'll see what the call is. I think Opie just kind of deciding what their next play. Like, when do they want to push? Maybe wait for another item. No reason to try and get hasty now. I think they got quite a bit of time before this Spectre gets anything else. I mean, he's working on the Basher now, but still, it's going to be hard to get outside of the base to buy this too. And John Dot actually DCs. Good, I can catch up. Don't unpause. Okay, no, you were charged. Oh no, he didn't. What? Okay, now I gotta stretch. Ooh. Nice.
The next label play. The next label play.
Oh my god. All these people need to go to horny jail.
Thanks to you.
I'll take that.
I think that's actually kind of a weirdly placed scan from Radiant. Oh, they have the lower cooldown now, like, they don't care. Who has that? Okay, that actually makes sense on the ledge.
Bounty.
Eggs up now on Spaghetti Jesus as well.
Bounty.
We'll see. I mean, with Roshan, this is like a slightly shorter timing. I'm not sure. I think you just wait till Roshan, especially with the shorter timing. You're probably fine to wait for this. Maybe... Do you give it to Kunkka, though? Who do you give this to? Maybe you probably socket out the Battle Fury, is what Jug is thinking. Going for the Abyssal instead. In fact, he could just buy Abyssal, right? I think so. Is this enough? Why does it keep doing that? Anyway. I think Abyssal is... Oh, let me just look it up. I'm being lazy. Yeah, he could, but he's probably saving for buyback. Either that or he's just waiting for the, I guess, maybe thinking he doesn't even need the item, honestly. But, I don't know, the ability to start a fight... Dude, what? He's socketing out the treads? Or not the treads, the phase boots? There's still a cheese on the ground, too. Maybe John Dot picks that one up. Or perhaps off, I guess. He can just go ham in this fight now. Maybe Kunkka, actually. This is like... This is a weird game. I'm a little surprised he sockets out the phase boots instead of Battle Fury. I think the 55 damage is nice. It's probably Abyssal sockets out Battle Fury is the play. But they will make their move with the Aegis. How do they want to start this fight? It is just going to be the Swift Slash. And he can just literally walk back out and then do that again in 10 seconds. Honestly, I kind of want to see them give Refresher to off. Just so he can, like, pop Swift Slash, pop Omni Slash, pop Swift Slash, pop Omni Slash, and, like, nobody can stop him. We'll just go back into Spaghetti Jesus. Look at the damage he's doing, too. They will try and turn this with the silence. Can they keep him locked down? The arena being popped. They get the stun back into Mad Dog. But is there an Omni Slash or anything to actually bring him down? The run buff on so many heroes right now. They bring down the Spectre, who has to buy back instantly. They pop the ult. They can maybe focus down Mad Dog as well. Spear back into the rest of the team. There's the Refresher being used. I believe that is on Kunkka, so we can throw back the bow yet again. So many, just all over the place. Kunkka doing so much work. They bring down Mad Dog. Finally, he does not have a buyback. Can they focus down TShear? Yet again, he gets isolated after losing the Night Stalker buyback. The dieback, excuse me, on the Night Stalker, and they get the Torrent back onto TShear, the Swift Slash as well. At least you bring down the Lina just due to the dispersion. But I think that is it. All the core is down. The supports are not enough to make this defense. Unless Epi and Virgo are just god tier. I don't know how you do this. You'd be the highest MMR in the world. Yeah, look at the damage from off. Oh my goodness. It's just Virgo's trying to keep the armor up, but that's about all you can do. Throws out the Lich Ult, but look at all these creeps to tank this damage. They bring down the Snapfire once. This is the buyback on Virgo, the Swift Slash being used, and now Epi has to just watch the Ancient die. And GG called eventually. A 50-minute game to start this series after a really, really slow start for pretty good. They bring that one close, though. I think you're not necessarily defeated at the end of this game if you're pretty good. Like, you're still confident because of the amount of time that game took. It was not looking good 20 minutes into that game. I think it's really just down to prioritizing early on. You got to make a little bit more space for TShear. The Radiance was probably a mistake too, but I don't know. I'm not as good of a carry as TShear. I'm not a carry at all. In fact, I suck at carry. But it just feels like the Radiance kind of delayed a couple of the later items, and that hurt his progression quite a bit. More than, like, it helped. But Opie taking game one, I believe this is a best of 3. And I'm gonna go make sure this is lower bracket. I thought it was, but I did not do that last game. I need to give my voice a break too. Hold on one sec. Whew. Oh, I should probably post a link to the disc as well. I don't know. Hold on one sec. Let's go look at the bracket. Yes. This is the lower bracket. I was gonna try and make a Liquipedia page for the tournament this year, but it's just so difficult actually to make a Liquipedia page. Well, it's not even that difficult, it's just incredibly time consuming, and then you also have to keep up with it as well. Maybe that's something we can do next season if people are interested, and I should probably just do that instead of being lazy. I should probably just do that instead of being lazy. I feel like coffee doesn't actually help. That has some real chocolatey tones to this. What the hell? I've never tasted that before. Interesting. We want Dire Pog you. I might not cast round 2. We'll see. I have to, like, go shower still. I literally just crawled out of bed to cast this, and this is why I'm so delayed. But now we can go back to a draft. Wait, is Advent 25 days? I'll just comment halfway.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team, ban.
I have not been doing anything for Advent.
You've got 10 seconds. What's the hold up, sunshine? 5 seconds remaining.
What the hell is this picture? No-Tail's hair is insane. 7.0 was released 4 years ago today.
Oh, I got a disconnect.
I really want a cat. Somebody sell me a cat. Why did we DC? No. Perfect. Sunsfan is a beautiful cat. It's great. Do you remember the 21st of September? Hey, they marked the win right. What? I respect that. I gotta go wash my hair. My hair feels so disgusting. I need to go shampoo and condition it. Gamer. Yeah, we still need one more. There we go. What's the tempo today? Oof. Alright, hold on 1 second. I will be. Real game now.
Team ban.
No fake lobbies.
Radiant team pick.
Mirana.
Okay, so they counter the Mars first pick with the Mirana.
Team pick.
And, ooh, I like this tempo. Okay, Opie is confident enough in, like, the Mars Lina that they just go for it again. And the same thing for, like, Pretty Good. They're like, I think we know how to counter it. I mean, they pick two heroes that can get outside of the arena very easily. It makes Mars' game incredibly hard. I don't think they really struggled with the arena last game. I honestly think Pretty Good played pretty good last game. That one was on purpose. That was a lame. That was lame.
5 seconds remaining.
I think they played well last game. I thought the draft was fine. It was maybe again, I don't want to keep talking shit about Radiance, but it's just not a great item.
Radiant team ban.
I seriously think what you go for there instead is just rush your Manta and then work on a Scotty. I think their game plan looks a lot better if they can get a Scotty picked up.
5
I mean,
seconds remaining.
they have a little bit more team fight this game though. The Night Stalker issue last game was just kind of, it did its job, but it, like, as soon as you kill off the supports, there was like 2 fights where they killed off both supports, and then they're left with Kunkka, Juggernaut, Mars. And Night Stalker really doesn't do too much into any of those when you don't have any of your abilities up because you already used them to kill off the supports. By the way, I usually do a shout out to all the other streamers. Math, hold on, let me make sure I know everybody who's streaming right now.
5 seconds remaining.
So, of course, me. Math Magician is live, I believe. He did an interview this morning. Go back and watch that if you want to watch him interview Moss and Corey.
Dire team.
Average Peen and Rust Daddy is being streamed by Eternal Tenari. All of these are in MD2L Games Live, by the way. Stage Games over streaming Dog Eater versus Blunt Man. Hardly Ryan, I don't know. Hardly Tryin'
10 seconds
is doing Real Unga Bunga Hours versus Rasta La Vista. That looks like it's in game 2 currently. What else here? Eternal Tenari looks like game 2 as well is up. Pecan Prodigy took game 1 of that series. I think the Snow versus Corey series might have already happened too.
Dire team ban.
But yes, with AM Undying as well. Again, more stuff to just get outside of the arena. And Undying does a lot of work too. The only real things they have to right-click the Tombstone right now is Lina, which Lina is pretty good at right-clicking Tombstone.
10 seconds remaining.
But that's it, I think. The rest of the heroes just need to hit it like once, and I think you're fine. They don't have like the Snapfire anymore, which isn't banned out. I'm kind of surprised nobody goes for it. And the Rookie is just the weirdest pick ever right now. It's good into the AM is about the only call, I guess, but I honestly like Legion Commander a bit better as a counter. But since they've already picked up the Mars, they're like, well, we can't pick the Legion. Let's just go for a Rookie instead because we need a counter for this hero. Force AM to buy BKB, potentially, and be happy with that.
Dire team pick.
But Rookie's got to have a really good start. AM's just going to farm out of control, and you have to like constantly keep up with the AM in order to kill the AM.
10 seconds remaining.
And before we see Hurricane Pike AM, I'm down for it, honestly. Ban out the Void Spirit too. I guess you just get rid of all the things that you think also counters the AM, which Void Spirit is definitely another one that's kind of like you can get guaranteed lockdown there. Honestly, ET's not that bad either. It's just hard to hit the stomp.
Radiant team pick.
I know Pies just wants the easy way out in terms of winning mid. Last game they went for the Kunkka, it's banned out this game. Don't want to have to deal with that on the AM, so they just go for the Viper instead. And I think Opie just wants to finish this game. They basically just drafted around pretty good's lineup. Other than like the confidence and the Mars Lina pickup at the very beginning. The rest of this, they don't have too many combos for the Grimstroke. It's basically just Lina, Viper. Are the only two you can get away with. But Grimstroke's not bad into AM either. Still get some guaranteed lockdown there. I think a Pit Lord would have been nice too, but again, since they already picked up the Mars, probably not something they want to go for. Definitely it feels like this draft's a bit slower for Opie. You don't want to pick up like a Leshrac into an AM, so they didn't want to do that. Death Prophet feels kind of meh. Not really too much game impact there, especially when you can counter it on pretty good with last pick. So they're just like, let's just pick a Viper, win the lane, and call it good. She needs like an apple. Let's see what's going on in the world.
Choose your hero.
I think Invoker just gets dumpstered in that. Right? Doesn't Invoker just get dumpstered here? I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like Invoker into Viper is kind of rough. What does it do? It might just be a comfort pick, honestly, because I really don't know what it adds. I guess... Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see how it plays out. Okay. Let's pull up the CS. Let's do a better job casting this time. That was a bad cast game one. I'll be the first to admit it. Top lane. 180 of them. Oof. Hype.
The next label play.
I like the all chatting between these two teams. It's very wholesome and self-deprecating. I love it. The best type of humor is self-deprecating humor. I just suck at it. It crashed my game. Rookie with the jump first. This isn't like the easiest rookie lane either. I think you just get right-clicked by Mirana. And then Spaghetti Jesus, I'm a little surprised he goes for the stun right away. Usually what you see some Sand Kings doing is picking up the level in Caustic. and then just using that to dominate the lane, especially into these melee cores as well. One like Ricky kind of struggles. Very low HP at the start of the game, and especially since Caustic Finale is magical, it's kind of just unavoidable damage. The arrow barely misses. I don't quite get the combo there after the stun from Sand King. Spaghetti Cheese is going to take a lot of damage here. Might just take more too with the jump from Ricky if he wants to go for like one more right click. Nope. We'll just back off, maybe just force him to pop the self, which you're still pretty happy with. Virgo took a bit of damage bottom lane, and in fact we get 2 for 2 bounty runes, it looks like, if they back up and take this one up on the high ground. Neither the mid laner or the bottom lane really wants to go pick this up right now. Fortunately for both of them. Might miss out on that. And I think that tip was for the block win, potentially. Is that what that was for? Mad Dog does a good job blocking there, but now Spamito's going to get some nice XP, hopefully, if he can finish off these. Early lead for Mad Dog, just slightly. Still 0 CS for Spamito as he's having struggle getting off the ground here. And I am missing first blood immediately. And again, this must be a lane they practiced. John Dot and Ice Can Boogie just dominating. They did it last game too. The Mars Lena. And they are happy with it. I guess the one thing I forgot to mention, this is usually a LAN event. Or at least, sometimes it's a LAN event. Last year it was. For the people that can show up. Obviously, couldn't do it this year. I believe it was like last April or something they had the LAN. Which is really cool because it's, you know, a very small time event that actually gets to do a LAN. It was like sometime in February before COVID hit. Spaghetti is just going to get very low. The arrow missing at the same time. They might be able to dive Epi, but they don't want to go underneath the tower. Play it safe instead. They will kill off the Mars bottom. No, they didn't. It's a neutral creep denied. And an Undying into a Strength hero, usually you see that pretty beneficial towards that Undying. But now it's looking pretty strong. Especially getting the deny there. It's not great for the Mars to have to deal with that. Obviously a very long respawn and you're going to fall behind the AM just slightly. And Mars is not exactly the greatest like hero to play into AM either. I think Tidehunter is probably the best call. Normally is what we see. Pit Lord's not bad either. You can't really spam like you would want to. That was like a 0.1 second stun right there. Even if it even hit him, I don't know if it did. Mirana's still just sitting top though. We might see the Mirana rotate mid. It's kind of hard to bring down the Viper, who's still just, you can kind of see just dominating mid at this point. It was a bit of a slow start, but now it's just, as soon as these levels start to add up, it's just so hard for Mad Dog to do much. I think the one thing you usually see Viper's doing is just standing on the opposite high ground, throwing out the abilities. And Ice Can Boogie getting very low yet again. Can't stay here for too long, but he misses. Disaster for Ice Can Boogie. He misses the God's Rebuke. At least you get the return kill. But I think he maybe lives there if he hits that God's Rebuke onto the Undying. It's actually, yeah, it's the 1-for-1. He is losing his life there. The arrow connecting this time onto the Grimstroke. Can they turn this though? Spaghetti Jesus doesn't have a stun, and Off is just going to go for right clicks instead. Is a little bit low on regen. He has to be slightly careful how far he wants to commit for this. But you don't mind at all. Again, just a slightly early lead, up to 21 CS now for Off, just killing the Sand King. Only 5 for Spaghetti Jesus. And an, oh, Spamito does a nice dodge on the arrow there. We'll get the EMP tanked, but without really any mana anyway. It's not like that big of a deal. Mad Dog does have another salve too, so I don't think you really mind tanking this. Slight advantage to Mad Dog there. Okay, since we pause. Is this a blinking AM? I'm not really sure. Does this spear connect? I think the tornado missed. It does dispel, but I don't think the invis was totally... Because it usually takes like a second for invis to actually kick in. It does dispel. But I think since it didn't kick in yet, I can't even remember if it hit. For some reason, I can't remember that. Spear, does this connect? They do have an LSA to follow up. It does connect. The LSA... Oh, a bit of a miscommunication there, I think. Maybe they get that. It would be close with the LSA. You get a couple more right clicks in. TShear can kind of just heal back up now, especially with the Undying heal. Would have been a close. I don't know. It's a pretty hard kill to pick up for sure. Let's say that time connecting onto the Undying. They will use the Tombstone as well. Maybe focusing down John Dot. And now Ice Can Boogie going to take a bit from this as well. They can't really focus the Tombstone anymore as they're both getting incredibly low from it. And now they both just going to take right clicks to die here. They stick around long enough around the Tombstone. And they both just die because of it. And it's a double kill. Oops. In the bot lane. Still hit the Windows key. We'll maybe go for a kill here. They get the stun back onto the Sand King as well as getting some vision, but they don't want to chase too far into the Sandstorm still. Fight Shade taking a bit after the stun. Off doesn't want to follow it up too long. They want to keep this vision on top of Spaghetti Jesus though. You got a ward on top of Epi whenever they want to deward this. Just instead go for the catapult and back off. Maybe look for the 5-minute rune that's back inside of their high ground. In fact, still not picked up yet, but I think they're looking for it now on Epi. Maybe a rotation mid, potentially. Still, it's basically tied mid. This is actually an impressive performance from Naddog if he's able to keep this up. In fact, with a DD on Epi, maybe looking for the arrow after the tornado, just misses. And he might just turn this too. Now Spamito can get the ult off, a couple more hits, should be enough to pick up this kill, does get it. DD up on Epi if he wants to try and turn this, but I don't think he even has enough damage. He might just die here. Does tick down, Spamito gets a double kill and top lane. Because Mirana left him alone. Fight Shade, I believe that was Fight Shade, picking up the kill. Oh no, it was actually Depressed. Off, sorry. Getting the kill on Sand King and just all over the map. Opie taking wins. Now they can focus down the Tombstone. Ice Can Boogie almost certainly dead if he tries to kill it. Needs one more hit, but John Dot doesn't want to focus it. And I think TShear can maybe blink underneath the tower here. Could just use the ultimate, which he does. Top lane again. They get the stun. Silence on the Mirana, but do they have the damage? One more right click. Yes, they get it. Fight Shade from way downtown. After the leap, got the right click off. Yeah, and Mad Dog did give away the 2 kills right there, as I can probably go to net worth at this point. Again, it's a similar story to last game, where Off has this gigantic lead to start, and we can look at the CS too. I didn't really pay too much attention to that, but he is dominating yet again. Off, how do you do it? Damn. 45 CS for the Ricky. He's level 6 now too, maybe looking for a silence. I don't think they get this kill. They could maybe die for it, but Fight Shade a little bit hesitant on how they wanted to take it. And it is a rotation top from the Undying, and kind of hurts TShear a bit, honestly. Without the Undying here, it's a little dangerous. If he ever gets comboed, can maybe just take this. Every single time they've gotten kills bottom, it's been because of that Tombstone. Actually 3 deaths now in Ice Can Boogie, but with, again, the rotation top from Undying, you can kind of get a little bit more aggressive in this lane. A little surprised. They might be able to finish him off. They need the mangoes for sure on Ice Can Boogie if they want to hit a spear here. John Dot might just be able to hit a As soon as I say it, he goes for it, just barely misses it, though. They don't have a sentry for this. Now they can plant it down. They get the heal stun back into the Riki. They both have vision, though, trying to kill off the sentry as Fight Shade brings it down. I believe that's just the trade. They will get the kill on the tombstone as well. Now jumping back into Spaghetti Jesus. One more right click, not happening. The heal there, and now they can turn this with the Invoker. They missed the stun from the Sand King because of the tornado, and now Fight Shade's gonna live because of it. I thought they still had the kill guaranteed, but now they get the kill. Or damn, see, I'm still waking up. They miss on the kill. Now Off might just get focused down. Needs to get back on the other side of the trees here. Kills off the sentry, then walks away. Spaghetti Jesus is actually rotated mid 2 and Spamito. Still feeling fine because of this. I believe that is drums up on the Viper. And Epi actually rotated all the way bottom now. TShear still trying to get some ground back on this Riki, but still doubled up. Net worth not big as it was when I first looked at it. Slowed down just slightly, but still an incredible start for Off, which is kind of just what we're used to seeing. Does have a level 8 Invoker up here now. They know they need to commit so much for this Riki, I think. They don't want to let Off have that good of a start again, and I don't know if it's too late or not. Mid lane Spamino trying to bring down Spaghetti Jesus. Does have a stun away, but he stuns back into the Viper. And all but guarantees the kill. I think maybe he lives there. Like, Viper, the tick damage is just... It's so hard to calculate, like, how much time you have left. Case you can live, but Spamino doing a lot of work in the mid lane. Anybody that shows up feels like they're gonna die. And just still trying to contest the farm of TShear, who really can't approach the lane that easily into the Mars right now. Especially, again, the support's just kind of leaving him alone in the bot lane, and that's really hurting the start. He's not doing too bad in terms of net worth. At least not behind the Mars. You are keeping up on that. It was the 3 early deaths that for Ice Boogie. That kind of secured that. Tread's picked up now as well. They want to look mid onto Spamito. It's a big rotation, but can they even get the kill? Yes, they do, but Spamito tries to turn it. You get the silence as well. Maybe looking for Mirana. They get the ult from Grimstroke, and they could find 2 potentially. One more hit's gonna do it. Just barely. The Dragon Slave missed from John Dot, but they still find the kill, and 2 supports falling just to bring down the Viper. Still decent for Invoker, though, as maybe Mad Dog can get some benefit from this, but now mid lane Off is going to rotate over. They don't have vision on him quite yet. We're on an ult on cooldown. They will look for a stun, get it off. The silence missing. They get the stun. Tornado back in. The silence there as well. Do they have the damage? There's a heal. Is it going to be enough? Mad Dog just trying to walk this one away. Does get away. And now John Dot might just be a bit too far, looking for a stun, hits it onto both. Now they can bring down Virgo. Spamito's rotated over, back into Epi without any leaves. They get the silence. They maybe go forward towards Spaghetti Jesus. Mad Dog's still underneath the Ghost Walk. They get a DD top lane as well. But I think all eyes just on this AM for pretty good. Kind of the saving grace for them. If they can make the AM farmed... I mean, the AM is a Spectre from last game. I think, again, this draft is fine from pretty good, but it just relies around their core a little bit too much. Off maybe rotating bottom, looking for the silence. He's got a DD, needs to get it very soon, but goes for the blink away, and I think Ice Cam Boogie kind of scares him. It's Off with this DD. He's got a bit more time left on it. He doesn't have a diffuser or anything, though, so I don't know how possible this is. Just got a bit of damage left, and that's a canceled TP too. And I think Dire's actually fine with giving away top. They're not really pushing this too hard. Spaghetti Jesus maybe just looking to cut the wave. TShear still underneath the tower. Haven't used like a scan or anything to make sure, but I'm honestly surprised TShear is sticking around. They know he's back here. So we'll go for the blink away now, and it's kind of impossible to chase that far. Just want to make sure you take the tower at this point. Bit of a rotation top from Spamito too. Spamito. Probably the safest person to go top, in case there's a couple more heroes there. But a 12-5 lead, and again an early net worth lead for Opie. Again, if you can make space for this AM, you don't really care too much how far behind you are. It's really just up to how well they can farm on TShear. He's still working for this Battle Fury, but it's going to be probably like 17 minutes at this point. There's a one tower down in the mid lane. Spamito, I mean, both of these games, Spamito really showing. I mean, he got the lane advantage in the second game just because they picked a Viper. They just want to win this game. That's usually the hero you pick when you just like, screw it. I just want to win the lane. Don't care about anything else. Still don't have too many neutral items though. TShear in the bot lane. You have the defusal up now on the Riki, looking for the silence. Gets it off, as well as the defusal. Completely out of mana. If Off wants to dive this, but he doesn't want to go too far. Virgo with the TP down, and he didn't want to commit. Had an opportunity, but didn't go for it. And we'll rotate back in. Off is just making this AM so afraid, though. You're not farming on the Riki. But at the very... Oh, well, they do find him now. And it's again without the mana. Can't get the right click, though. There it is. Spaghetti Jesus might even need to save Virgo here, as they might just lose the Undying. They do. The Stroke of Fate again from way downtown. Popping threes all over the place as Fight Shade.
Mine is truly a blessed life. My thanks will come later, when you least expect it.
And Opie looking incredible in this series. Ice Can Boogie still working on that Blink Dagger. There's a bit of Mirana up here, but not really too much you can do. I am missing kills. And it's really, I just got to watch this Riki, I think. Making so much space for Opie. And they're starting to just run over this game. We had a 50-minute game one. They do not want to make this game go as long. This is definitely like, we are not going to win late game lineup for Opie, and they know they need to finish this one early. Off just looking for more opportunities to pick up kills here. Maybe looking at Epi instead. Top lane, Spamito with a Atos up, but no, the rest of the team really up here. Arrow missing yet again. Again, the second time we've seen that combo not really go too well. They will just find the Invoker instead. And Virgo getting stunned up, this time by the Lina. Laguna Blade popped. They can bring down the Tombstone afterwards. The buyback even from the Undying TP in, but nothing to do there. I mean, all he really could have done was heal the Tombstone. That was it. They do hit an arrow. Virgo maybe trying to bring down Ice Command Boogie, but instead, Epi is going to get turned on. He doesn't quite have the damage yet on Off. There's too many accidental puns this morning. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, everybody. So we are looking for a Manta on Off. He just slightly doesn't have the damage there, but like still just incredible work from the Riki in this game. And now they might look for TShear. TShear, okay, they actually do have vision there. So they know the Riki's coming up. I was going to say his map awareness is really good on TShear. I still think it is incredibly good. It's just the times he died, it's like so difficult. Fight Shade probably going to die here. And at least you get that return, but still down by 8k net worth. Completely alone was Fight Shade as they get a rotation over. I like this ward over here too. They pop the dust, just going for a kill instead again. They can't get the combo, trying to get into the tricks of the trade. Cannot get it off though. Little bit too aggressive there. And the top net worth hero down. And a very, very necessary kill for pretty good. They want to try and turn it into more. They will look for a kill in the triangle. It's only John dot bottom. Couple of pings out. They know the stack is there. I don't think he can do this alone. We'll hit... Ooh, the spear not quite far enough. I was going to say he will hit the spear, but he didn't. And now with this smoke lasting long enough, maybe they can run top lane? It's a bit too late. DD again in the bot lane. Riki's going to be back up. They don't have vision on this DD. Already knows it's there. We'll try and turn this back into the Invoker. Again, he's just tanking the EMP. He does not give a fuck. Silence back into the Invoker. The ult's still on top of him. They will get the blink from Spaghetti Jesus to at least get a return kill. Maybe two. Spamito getting really low. Does drop. But now it's just going to be a 2 for 2. Still benefiting pretty good, I believe. But with the rotation in, they got the DD on off. Mirana ult up as well. Do they have vision for this? Yes, they do. Maybe even looking for Epi, but the dive away to make sure they do not fall on the Mirana. And TShear wants to run back into his triangle. He's already farmed this, so he's not going to go up the hill here. Still working on this Battle Fury, and yeah, a 20-minute Battle Fury. And that's a real rough start for the AM in this game. The 20-minute Battle Fury is not exactly the most opportune timing, but if they can make this game go late, again, their lineup's more oriented towards the late game. But still 20-9 and an 8k gold lead for Opie. And so it's kind of stayed solid at 8k for a little bit. So maybe they've slowed down. Maybe things are starting to look up for pretty good, but we'll see. Off maybe looking at mid. There's the Mars ult. He's got 2 in the silence as well. They bring down Matt. Oh, he's not dead yet. And with the Laguna Blade secures it. Ice Can Boogie missing a spear, so it is going to be a 1-for-1. They may be able to find off here too, unless he can get the blink away. Yes, they will. No, they don't quite get him. They have the dust, but nobody on the backside to get the last hit. And it is just a 2-for-1 there, bringing down the Mars. At least AM is farming at the same time, but they get so close to killing the Riki yet again. And with the regen rune top, that's about the worst rune you could give away. Again, Volvo helping him out quite a bit, but at least TShear can find some bounties here. Maybe pick up 2, potentially get some bounty advantage rolling. Off is going to find the regen rune and just go right back into fighting. And, oh, this is not great. We'll get the slow, bit late on the defusal. Can't follow up on that kill as they might chase off back. They don't have a dust or anything. They know, I mean, they had vision on him there with the sentry, in fact, with the rotation over. Ice Can Boogie just barely missing it. Hitting the blink back up. Sentry of their own pop, so they will be able to deboard this too. And is this Battle Fury up? Yes, it is. 21 minutes. TShear immediately uses it to farm an Ancient Camp too. That's efficiency right there. A lot of regen on this too, especially with the ring regen plus the regen you get from Battle Fury. It's legit. Sitting on the high ground, they will see this. Mad Dog gonna get silenced up, and that is just the easiest fight you can see. 3 people caught inside the Mars ult. Spaghetti Jesus can't get out. Undying can't get out, and now Epi might just be the final target. Silence coming out from Fight Shade. A great game from him, but can they actually bring down Epi? Trying to get the courier. Will bring down Lena's courier, but Epi, without any more blinks, it's gonna be 4 kills, and again, the lone survivor is TShear. Right into the top tier 2 they go. They don't really have the strongest pushing lineup, but you don't really need one when 4 heroes are down on the enemy team. TShear is going to be able to find a DD. How many DD runes have spawned this game? Jeez. But we are up to a 9k gold lead now as they have eclipsed that 8k gold lead wall. Put up. And now potentially looking at Roche. I don't think they can go high ground here, especially with the start to this fight being an EMP onto your Mars. Really too much you can do to counter that. Sand King actually stunning back in. They don't have the Riki here quite yet. Is actually roaming on the backside, maybe looking for Virgo instead. No, they get the slow, the 4-staff there this time from the Invoker. Spaghetti Jesus just gonna fall instead. As at least you save your Invoker there. Still losing the Sand King. TShear is doing the old split push the map game on the AM. It's about all you can do. Do not want to show up to these fights yet if you're AM. how do they want to defend this tier 2 though? I think, again, you want to leave the AM bottom. There is a TP from off, gets the slow, still not a Manta up on TShear. Oh my goodness, it barely. TShear, it's so close. It's so close to him surviving there. In fact, because of the rotation, at least they can maybe get a fight win mid, but no, the double Laguna Blade, they still only found 1 kill from this yet. Maybe they can bring down John Dot with the right clicks. They do. Fight Shade getting very low as well, as they want to try and commit for this. I believe that's the Moran ult up, but it's still 4 gone. Again, the lone survivor, this time, is Epi.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just, again, they come so close. I thought they were going to wipe them there. At least all the heroes that were mid, but just barely tanky enough. It's so hard to kill Spamito. They have the Pipe of Insight up as well, and you see the early on when he doesn't have that pipe up, the Sand King ult is doing so much work, but as soon as that pipe comes out, negates 90% of that damage, and they survive just long enough to get the double kill from the Laguna Blade. AM is starting to speed up now, though. You can see him slowly catching up to off on the network chart, but is that going to be enough time? Who knows? Mad Dog is roaming underneath the sentry. I don't think he sees him quite yet. In fact, we'll find TShear but off. It's like, I don't have any teammates here. I'm just going to play it safe. I really like this ward too. This is one, for some reason, doesn't normally get dewarded. And it gives them a lot of good vision as well. Yeah, and it's still not going to get dewarded. We'll get rid of the sentry at the very least. In fact, I think this... Ooh, that was close, but it's not quite there. So, very lucky observer place there. Pretty happy with that. Ice Can Boogie might just be the first target here if they want to rotate back through the mid lane, but still a little bit of space for TShear at the moment. Down to a 2,000 lead, just about. No, it's still 3,000, just barely. I think it's still shrinking though. Pretty happy with that. And in fact, they both get Mantas at the exact same time, but it's Deso up on off as well. He's basically ahead by an item, I believe, is basically... Yeah, he's ahead by an item. It's the difference we see between the two cores right now. But AM probably needs Abyssal. Do you go Scotty this game if you're AM? I think so. We'll find a couple of D-wards here. And they will not kill this sentry. Okay, no, they do kill this sentry.
Invisibility.
Sometimes you see people not killing the sentry there. Epi goes back for that. That was risky. Invoker actually farming mid this time. Invoker is in Mad Dog's playing incredibly aggressive here. We'll be able to find a couple of bounty runs if he wants to run for the river as well. Hard for them to take Roche this game, Alpi. So they're not going to look for it quite yet. And we might see Ricky go for an Abyssal. Yeah. Still got a little bit before that's up. But yeah, Ricky and AM going for the same item. AM might actually be in a position where TShear can pick this item up first. Just because you farm a bit faster. But still, Off wants to take Roche. They've taken all the outer tier 2s, and I think the next call is to just take Roche. And go for a barracks push, maybe not end the game necessarily. You get the Sunstrike inside the Roche pit, but I don't know how much you want to try and fight this if you're pretty good. Looking for a Shiva's on Spamito. Surprised they don't go like Mech or something on Mars. I think that could be incredibly useful for them. Maybe even like, I've seen a lot of Vipers go for that build too, where you go Guardian Greaves, like Pipe, and just go all out like utility on Viper, because your damage output is more than enough. Just keep your teammates alive, and it feels like a game where they could use Mech as well. It's actually just TPing top lane, but I mean, look how short his TP cooldown is, especially with the Boots of the Travel. Boots of Travel. We'll go for the Mirana ult, try and make a play around. This looks like the target being Ice Can Boogie. Doesn't have too much to save himself here. Does have the blink, but he needs to get away ASAP. Especially with the sentry here too. They know they're trying to make this play around. Spaghetti Jesus showing himself right there. We'll just play it safe. Maybe look for him in the jungle. They find TShear. So no, the AM is farming over here, but the rest of the team will not find anyone. And we need a Riki Battle Fury. I think the last Riki I played with in my pub went Battle Fury. It was interesting. Very interesting. Soft knows they have a sentry over there. TShear knows he's over here as well. They will go bottom lane this time. Spaghetti Jesus taking a bit of damage. I don't think it's enough to kill. No, it's not even close. Still not too much spent there. AM just blinking in, starting this fight on the AM actually. They get the silence as well. Can he get rid of that? They heal there, but they still bring him down. Does have a buyback. The Sunstrike missing. Ice Camp Boogie can pop the BKB. Maybe look for the spear back. Does not connect. So they bring down the Tombstone and 4-man Tornado, but now in comes off. He's got the Aegis. He does not care if he's getting arrowed up here either. He's just going to continually dive. Back popping off of that Cold Snap. Virgo is going to drop as well. They have all the buybacks if they want to use them. But they might just say, let's just give away the racks instead. They're not popping the buybacks quite yet. They got them all really low. And here is where you could be definitely using a mech. Sand King ult is used though, so they don't have too much left for this fight. In fact, they might just go back into Virgo. They get some damage on top of him after the Ghost Scepter. Can they bring him down afterwards? Yes, I believe they can. It's off with the spear backwards. Don't get the rebuke. Not quite bringing down Epi. We'll be fine with that. The dieback actually on the Undying, so he is down for about 60 seconds as of this point. Arrow not going to connect. Back into the Mirana they go, but again, he's got a 4-staff away as well as a mech up on the Mirana, so he is decently hard to kill on Epi. Looking for the stun is Spaghetti Jesus trying to bring down off. They get the ult from Mirana as well. They bring down Spaghetti Jesus. He's still got a buyback blinking in his TShear, using the ult to bring down one of the supports at the very least. Zoth brings down Mad Dog at the exact same time. Now maybe they want to go back in. They get the slow. Do they have a 4-staff? There is the Atos, but he can purge it off. At the same time, Epi's going to fall, potentially using the mech. But not quite enough to make him live. He does not have a buyback either. And still the Aegis up on off. Be happy just tanking this, or at least giving the tank to Mars. And Opie looking strong going into the mid barracks. And I think this might just be it. A 20k gold lead for Opie. And the Mega's almost certainly to follow. You have to be afraid of the Sand King ult here, I think, is about the only thing. In fact, it might finally be able to kill off. That is just the Aegis, though. Tornado actually connecting onto the Viper. Back here is off. They get the Shivas up, blinking back out to safety. The Mars ult being popped, locking them in. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. They bring down the AM as well as the Undying, I believe, if he walks into the wall one more time. No, it actually doesn't hit you if you go Scepter. That's something I've learned today. There's a buyback on the Sand King. Spaghetti Jesus doesn't have the blink, though. Stuns back into the Viper, but it's just not enough damage. A majority of it used when he couldn't stay on top of the Viper, and now off is back in again, purging off the Cold Snap, maybe looking for another jump here. They get the ult from Grimstroke as well as the silence. They can bring down the Invoker. He's got a buyback, but it might not be enough. Spaghetti Jesus to fall as well. It's just the Invoker with buyback, and I don't think you can take this 1v5. Beautifully done by Opie to stay alive somehow. I have no idea how they pulled that off. But all of them stay alive. They take the Megas. It's a 30k gold lead. 45-14. Off. Just pops off in this game. And another pun that I accidentally say. Oh boy. Well, round one of this tournament coming to a close for pretty good as they get knocked out in the lower bracket. Opie going to be moving on. Very impressive performance from them. I like their drafts. They play around what is thrown at them from pretty good. Just a big brain Ricky pick there. And a 33-minute victory for Opie. A 2-0 for them. I'm going to probably stop streaming right now. We might get some games later today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do round 2. Let me see if the bracket got updated. Maddie looks like he came over Narathine. John versus TShear, we're still waiting on the outcome of an upper bracket match. So we do have to wait on that. Apache is playing Plupo. And Rust Daddy is playing Average Peen still. So kind of just waiting on those two. Maybe look at general and see. There is a multi-stream going on, so if you have, or if you do want to go watch some more of the matches that are going on right now, go check that out as we move on with the day. I believe the goal is, let me go look at the announcements because the schedule is kind of in there. The goal is to have round 2 started by noon, and that is in an hour. So waiting on that. Round 3 by 3 p.m., which also includes the upper bracket finals. 6 p.m. tonight is round 4, and then 9 p.m. tonight is round 5. And the lower bracket grand final starts tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Of course, 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's a BO5 casted by Odie Pixel and Math Magician, the grand finals tomorrow. So I could probably cast in an hour. Gives me some time to go eat. Round 2 starting at noon. We'll see you in a bit once we get those matchups figured out. Yeah. Goodbye for now.